Russian ground forces captured a Ukrainian armed forces shelter in the Kupiansk direction. Visit our Telegram channel to watch the full video. Other Russian soldiers are throwing grenades into the shelter.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
Cruise missiles struck depots in Kyiv, and an unsuccessful intervention was carried out by air defense systems. Footage of combat operations in the direction of Konstantivka, where Russian armed forces operators targeted locations occupied by Ukrainian forces. Aircraft-type drones and fiber-optic drones destroyed their targets with precision strikes. Kharkiv region. A Ukrainian soldier was stopped by a unit of the 41st Motorized Rifle Brigade, part of the 4th Army Corps. There was no need for expensive missiles or artillery systems. A precise and effective attack was carried out using an inexpensive fiber-optic FPV drone. The arrival of the Russian Geran UAV in Zaporizhzhia. Archive footage. A soldier from the Ukrainian armed forces noticed he was being followed while moving across open terrain and attempted to hide, hoping to blend into the surroundings. However, this did not work. The enemy was destroyed by Russian FPV units. A Russian-made Lancet-type mobile munition destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces command center in the Black Sea with a bright explosion. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Russian UAV operators are destroying targets in the Pokrovsk direction. Operators from the 74th Brigade's Reconnaissance Battalion struck Ukrainian armed forces equipment, ammunition, shelters, and armored vehicles. Russian FPV drone operators discovered that a building was being used as a warehouse. Then, several fiber-optic drones arrived to destroy the building, and after accurate strikes, the building and warehouse were demolished. Border region clashes. Paratroopers are hunting enemy equipment and supporting the advance towards Sumy. Paratroopers from the 217th Airborne Regiment in Ivanovo are identifying enemy military equipment and artillery near the border between the Kursk and Sumy regions, destroying them and supporting the advance of Russian troops towards Sumy. Sumy direction. Near the village of Nikolskoye in the Sumy region, reconnaissance operations by the 106th Airborne Division detected a T-64BV tank belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces. The target coordinates were relayed to the crew of KVN FPV unmanned aerial vehicles from the Rubicon unit. The tank was destroyed. Kupiansk direction. The control point of the Baba Yaga electronic warfare station has been destroyed. The number of Baba Yaga and Mavic systems among the Germans has increased significantly. The Russians should also be more careful. Ukrainian forces are not avoiding any missiles, and the enemy's main focus is to find and eliminate Russian operators. When detected, everything is flying at them. In the meantime, You can use YouTube Super Thank You to support us and our content. We need it to continue with our videos. 2 servicemen of the Russian armed forces opened rifle fire from close range at a bunker where infantrymen of the armed forces of Ukraine were located. At the same time, they threw grenade-like explosives inside. Meanwhile, the Russian soldiers called on the soldiers in the bunker to surrender. If they surrendered, they would not harm them and would evacuate them safely. Some soldiers accepted this offer, others refused. What do you think could be the reason for their refusal? Write your opinion in the comments. The Ukrainian soldiers in this video chose to surrender. The UAV control center of the Ukrainian armed forces in Kyiv was destroyed by a Russian aircraft-type UAV. Kherson direction. Russian fighters in the village used small arms to shoot down and destroy the Baba Yaga helicopter-type drone in mid-air. New images of armored vehicles destroyed by reconnaissance units of the 44th Corps advancing from the Kursk region to the Sumy region. The Russian army is advancing in the Sumy region, hitting Ukrainian tanks and defense lines. Soldiers of the 44th Corps destroy NATO howitzers, BMPs, APCs, and other equipment with the fiber-optic drone Prince Vandal of Novgorod, destroying bunkers and mortar positions. A large NATO-style weapons and ammunition depot was discovered near Kurakov. The Interior Ministry told TASS that about 2,000 rounds of ammunition were found. Footage of one of the positions lost by the Ukrainian armed forces being cleared by Russian troops. Soldiers are moving around in the trench collecting items that may be needed. Here is the original footage.
Нет. Ты сильно не дергай, это вещи вот. Натовские.
Russian reconnaissance drones have revealed the bunker of the Ukrainian armed forces. There seems to be only one soldier in the video. I think maybe there are more soldiers inside the bunker. Maybe only one brave soldier came out and fought against the drone. The Ukrainian soldier made a great effort to stop the Russian drones. He fired at the drones without a break. The drone operator also maneuvered to avoid the Ukrainian soldier's fire. However, this seems to have prevented him from hitting the target. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. After all, the position was repeatedly attacked by Russian drones. The Ukrainian soldier was exhausted and demoralized by these attacks. A 120mm mortar of the Russian paratroopers destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces UAV in the direction of the Special Military Operations Zone, Orakovsk. A remote-controlled robotic platform of the Ukrainian armed forces was on its way to deliver equipment or supplies to the positions. Russian drone operators detected it in time and destroyed the robotic platform with an attack drone. The 215th Reconnaissance Battalion first destroyed Ukraine's helicopter-type drone in mid-air. Then it destroyed the repeater antennas in the UAV control center. Then it hit the infantry bunker in the UAV control center. The Russian Defense Ministry reported that the Russian armed forces destroyed nearly 70 Ukrainian soldiers at a training camp in Sumy region with the Iskander missile defense system. A blow to the energy sector. A FPV drone of the 6th Army destroyed a generator supplying electricity to the Ukrainian camp in the Kupiansk direction. Temporary deployment points of the Ukrainian armed forces in Otradnoye were destroyed by Russian Molnia UAVs. UAV control point of the armed forces of Ukraine was found in the Zereknoye settlement. The reconnaissance drone was tracked and the position was revealed. Then the Russian Air Force destroyed the building of the UAV control point of the Ukrainian armed forces with a powerful explosion using Kh-39 missiles. The BMP-1 armored vehicle of the Armed Forces of Ukraine near Novy Mir in the Kharkiv region was spotted. The hatch of the mechanical drive of the abandoned armored vehicle was left open. The Russian fiber optic drone slowly glided in through the open hatch and scrapped the armored vehicle. Why would they have abandoned it with the hatch open? Russian fiber optic drone operators, Prince Vandal of Novgorod, destroyed everything that the Ukrainian armed forces camouflaged and hid among the trees. Howitzers, armored vehicles, pickups. Ukraine's REB systems cannot shoot down fiber optic drones. This is because fiber optic drones are connected to the UAV control point by a fiber cable. There is a powerful and heavy ammunition on the drone. This ammunition, which is destroyed upon impact, can turn almost everything into scrap. In the videos, we often see armored vehicles being abandoned with their doors left open. Why do Ukrainian soldiers do this? Do they forget because of panic, or don't care because they don't pay? Soldiers of the 29th Guards Army of the Vostok Troop Group liberated Otradnoye. How FPV drone calculations destroyed Ukrainian artillery guns and mortars firing at advancing Russian attacks. Despite intense radio opposition from the Ukrainian armed forces, drone operators worked with high accuracy. The footage shows the destruction of enemy bunkers and military equipment in the Sumy region. FPV drone crews are working on identified targets. Last week, the Northern Group liberated the settlements of Mariino and Lokhnya in the Sumy region. There were also successes in the Vovchansk area in the Kharkiv region. The destruction of a mined bridge in the Seversk region. Russian armed forces soldiers carried out a flawless operation to destroy an important Ukrainian logistics bridge in the Seversk region. As a result of precise and professional actions, the bridge was reduced to a pile of rubble. Bad news, it is now more difficult to transport supplies to the front lines. All plans for troop rotations have been disrupted. transporting equipment along railway lines will now be a major challenge. Russian armed forces units continue to intensify their pressure. A drone crew from the 132nd Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces 51st Guards Combined Arms Army spotted a Ukrainian armed forces soldier hiding in a building. The Russians used an FPV attack drone to strike the target. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. The Kherson administration was hit for the second time, and again, it was a direct hit. Fabs from the UMPK destroyed the target. Russian security forces reported that a company from a mechanized brigade affiliated with the Ukrainian armed forces was destroyed in an attack carried out by FAB in the village of Mirno, Donetsk. Russian FPV UAVs destroyed an electronic warfare-equipped pickup truck and a Humvee armored vehicle belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces. Footage of combat operations carried out by UAV operators affiliated with the 3rd Combined Arms Army of the Southern Military District to destroy a Ukrainian Baba Yaga attack UAV that was detected.
Выебали только что по мосту. Таврушка стояла, поломана, никто ничего.
The result of today's attack by Russian air forces on the Sahov Bridge.
Рядом другая вообще дырка. Те машины дальше в дырке тут да. Ай-яй-яй-яй. Ну, в принципе, попробуем тут через этот.
36. Artillery units of the United Armed Forces and FPV drone operators continued to carry out fire attacks throughout the night. An UAV control center and 3 temporary staging areas in the village of Kamara were destroyed by precision strikes from artillery units. 2 Baba Yaga-type UAVs were detected and shot down by FPV drones. UAV operators belonging to the 68th Separate Reconnaissance Battalion of the 8th Guards Combined Arms Army of the Russian Armed Forces detected a Ukrainian mortar position and ammunition depot in the town of Alexandropol. A direct hit by an FPV unmanned aerial vehicle destroyed the ammunition depot and mortar position. Kharkiv region, Russian Goran attacking the target.
Ого! Падает!